When you trim your beard, your mustache, your hair, or your nails, be in a state of ablution and remember Allah. For they will be asked, how did you leave your owner? In nails and hair there are nerves, though you do not feel them when cutting. Some parts of the body are connected to the spirit. They can feel. Others belong to the body. They do not. At least, ask Allah for forgiveness when you separate from them. For asking forgiveness is itself a prayer, and prayer is worship. Ibn Arabi. There are moments in life that seem utterly ordinary. Moments when the mirror reflects a face we've seen 1,000 times before. A face we trim, polish, clean, maintain, almost mechanically. But beneath those small, silent actions, Ibn Arabi whispers something deeper. Even the hair remembers. When the scissor cuts, something unseen is also released. When a nail falls, a part of your form, once alive, returns to dust. And he says, be in ablution and remember Allah. Why? Because even separation is sacred when done in awareness. Because everything that departs from you bears witness to what you carried inside. And one day, even your hands and feet will speak. The Quran says, on the day their tongues, their hands, and their feet will testify against them for what they used to do. Surah Al-Nur 24:24. So how could hair, nail, or skin be meaningless? They all remember. They all listen. They all belong to the one who breathed his spirit into clay. Sometimes I imagine a strand of hair falling slowly to the ground. It doesn't scream, it doesn't bleed, it just lets go. Quietly, obediently, without resistance. And in that silence there is a lesson, the beauty of surrender. You cut your hair, but perhaps your hair is teaching you how to surrender. You let it fall, but maybe it's showing you how to fall with grace. But I hear your voice, my friend. You say, why would Allah care about such small things, hair, nails, dust? And I smile, because the soul's journey always begins with small awakenings. The Prophet ﷺ said, Allah is beautiful and loves beauty. What is beauty, if not the harmony between body and spirit, between the visible and the unseen? When you wash for ablution, when the cool water touches your skin, that is not just cleansing, it is remembrance. And Ibn Arabi reminds us, even what leaves your body participates in this remembrance. Think of it this way. When you cut your nails while remembering God, you are performing a tiny funeral for what once served you. You are thanking it for carrying your touch, your labor, your prayer beads, your child's hand. And now, as it departs, you say, go in peace. You were part of me. May God forgive us both. In one of Rumi's verses, it is said, when the body is abandoned, the soul flies. When the hair is cut, the beauty renews. Not because the body is less, but because the soul needs to breathe.
This is what Ibn Arabi means when he says some parts are connected to the spirit. Every atom that has touched your soul carries a vibration of your remembrance or your forgetfulness. The mystics call this the secret life of form. And perhaps that is why, when a saint dies, even the earth smells of musk, because what was once flesh has been saturated with remembrance. It has become luminous matter. Now pause for a moment. Close your eyes. Imagine the next time you comb your hair, trim your nails, wash your face, Imagine doing it as if you were performing prayer. Each movement slow, each breath aware, each gesture saying silently, "I belong to you." This is not ritual. This is love turned into motion. There's something else Ibn Arabi teaches hidden beneath these words. He reminds us that the body itself is a mirror of divine names. Your hand, Al-Qadir, the powerful. Your eyes, An-Nur, the light. Your breath, Al-Hayy, the living. So when you cut, wash, or shape these parts, you are polishing the mirror of God's manifestation. Isn't that extraordinary? Even self-care becomes dhikr when seen through the eye of the heart. But if the heart sleeps, the same action becomes just vanity. The difference is remembrance. The difference is the whisper of Bismillah before the scissor moves. One day, a dervish came to his master and said, "Master, I feel nothing during prayer, but I cry when I cut my hair." The master smiled and said, "Then perhaps your hair is praying for you." He meant, what you cut is not lost. It returns as a reminder. We live in a time when even our reflections are edited, when the mirror shows not who we are, but what we wish to be. But Ibn Arabi calls us back to a tenderness with the body, to honor its sacred design. He saw no separation between flesh and spirit, between the seen and unseen. Everything was a circle returning to its source. I once heard a story in the Fihi Ma Fihi of Rumi. A man said, "I wish to draw closer to God, but I cannot find him." Rumi said, "Have you looked within the smallest things? For in each drop of water, the entire sea is reflected." And truly, my friend, this is the essence of Ibn Arabi's saying, that even a falling hair contains the memory of the ocean from which you came. But let me ask you something. When you look in the mirror, who is looking back? Is it the self that you show the world, or the quiet being behind your eyes who never ages? Sometimes when I look at my reflection, I whisper, "You are not what I see. You are the breath behind what I see." And suddenly, trimming my beard or combing my hair becomes an act of gratitude, because I realize this body has carried me through countless dawns, through tears, through prayers, through longing. How could I not remember the one who sustains it?
There is not a thing that does not glorify him, though you do not understand their glorification. That means your hair glorifies him, your nails glorify him, the dust that settles on your shoulder glorifies him, the silence in the room glorifies him. Everything except the human heart that forgets. So the path is not to make the world holy. It already is. The path is to make your seeing holy. Sometimes I wonder, if my discarded hair and nails could speak on the day of judgment, what would they say? Would they say, "He remembered"? Or, "He cut us in haste, lost in thought, chasing time"? Maybe that's why Ibn Arabi says, at least ask Allah for forgiveness. Because forgiveness is a bridge between heedlessness and awareness. It is the moment the heart awakens and says, "I forgot you, but now I remember." Friend, listen closely. There is a secret here, the secret of connection. The body is not just a garment, it is a witness. It records everything you do, not as punishment, but as remembrance. So when you care for it, you are caring for one of God's most intimate trusts. You are not separate from the earth you walk upon, nor from the hair that grows from your skin. Everything
is woven from the same divine fabric. Pause again. Take a breath. Feel your own body, the rhythm of your pulse, the warmth of your palms. Say quietly in your heart, "This is not mine. This is yours." Can you feel the shift? That's the awakening. That's the remembering. There's a line in the Mesnavi, Book 1, where Rumi says, "The body is like the nail, and the spirit the quick beneath it. Cut the nail, the quick remains unharmed, but when the nail forgets the quick, pain arises." He meant that the pain of life comes not from loss, but from forgetting the source that never leaves. So when you cut your nails, remember this parable. You are not losing, you are renewing. You are shedding what has completed its service. You are making space for new growth, new remembrance. Sometimes while traveling, I keep my beard short. Once I was cutting it before dawn, preparing for prayer. I felt a sudden stillness. I remembered this very saying of Ibn Arabi. I paused with the razor in hand and whispered, "Ya Allah, even this?" And in that moment, a strange peace filled me. I realized that yes, even this small act was a conversation with Him. From then on, I could never rush such moments, because I understood the path is not found only in mosques or books. It hides in the sink, in the scissor, in the mirror, in the dust falling from a forgotten shelf. Tell me, my friend, how often do we perform acts without presence? How often do we miss the sacred because we expect it to look grand? But God hides in small gestures. He is in the hair that falls, the nail that grows, the skin that sheds, the sigh between two thoughts. And the saints like Ibn Arabi, they saw this clearly. They lived in the constant remembrance that everything speaks His name.
Next time you cut your nails or comb your hair, say softly in your heart, "Thank you for serving me. May Allah forgive us both." Then take a deep breath and whisper, "La ilaha illallah." Feel how your heart softens, how the act becomes prayer, how the silence between motions becomes dhikr. To live like this is to live awake. To live like this is to honor the trust of your body, to walk gently on the earth that will one day hold you. The Prophet ﷺ said, "The world is sweet and green, and Allah has made you stewards upon it." Sahih Muslim 2742. Stewardship begins with how you treat even what seems trivial, your own self. Because the one who remembers Allah in small things is remembered by Allah in great things. Sometimes I think Ibn Arabi wasn't only talking about hair or nails, he was pointing to every part of life we call small, every unnoticed breath, every forgotten corner of our being that still whispers His name. He was teaching us presence within separation, that even when something leaves us, a person, a moment, a dream, we should part with remembrance. Because everything that departs carries a trace of how it was loved. So when he says, "Be in ablution," he means be purified not only in body, but in heart. Be clean in your intention. Be mindful even in the gestures that no one sees. Because each act is recorded, not on paper, but in vibration. Every breath is an echo in eternity. Let's go deeper, my friend. Why does he mention nerves in the hair and nails? Why say, "You do not feel them when cutting"? He is not speaking of anatomy, he is revealing a secret of consciousness.
He means that we live half asleep. We cut parts of ourselves, memories, relationships, possibilities, without realizing what we are losing. We stop feeling the nerves of the soul. We become numb to the sacred. And yet, he reminds us, the connection is still there. You may not feel it, but your essence remembers. Just as the nail no longer feels the pain of separation, but the quick beneath it does, the spirit beneath the body still feels every act of forgetfulness. Have you ever noticed sometimes after a haircut or a wash you feel strangely lighter, not only in body but in spirit? As if you've released something invisible? That's not imagination, that's remembrance moving through form. That's your body responding to the subtle language of intention. When the Prophet ﷺ said, "Cleanliness is half of faith," Sahih Muslim 22:23, he wasn't just talking about hygiene, he was reminding us that purification is both outer and inner, that even washing the hands can wash the heart, if done with awareness. Ibn Arabi's wisdom leads us toward one truth. There is no such thing as ordinary. Every moment, every cell, every sigh is an opportunity for intimacy with the divine. But the heart forgets, and that forgetting is the real separation.
So he tells us, at least ask Allah for forgiveness. He is saying, return. If you cannot be constantly present, then be constantly returning. For the act of returning, that is the heartbeat of the path. Once, a disciple asked his master, "How can I remember Allah while living in the world?" The master replied, "Do not try to remember Him all the time. Just do not forget that He remembers you all the time." That, my friend, is the secret that softens everything. You are remembered even in your moments of heedlessness. You are held even when you let go. Let me tell you something from my own life. There was a time I felt disconnected from prayer, from stillness, from meaning. I was doing everything right, but it all felt hollow. Then one night, while washing my hands before sleep, I suddenly remembered the saying of Ibn Arabi. I looked at the drops of water sliding down my fingers and whispered, "You too will testify for me one day." That simple thought broke something open inside me. I realized every drop of water knows my story. Every cell in my body is a witness. How could I ever think I was alone? From that day on, even washing my face became a meeting. Even silence became a prayer. There's a verse in the Quran that says, "And He is with you wherever you are." Most people read it as comfort, but for those who see through the eye of love, it is awe. Because if He is with you wherever you are, then He is also in the hair that falls, in the breath that escapes, in the dust that settles. He is the witness of your witnessing. So when you trim your beard or clean your nails, you are not removing something impure. You are honoring the cycle of return. You are allowing what once lived through you to return to its source. Sometimes we forget that the path is circular. Everything that leaves eventually returns. The soul came from Allah and returns to Allah. The rain falls from the sky and returns to the sky. The breath enters the body and returns to the air. And the hair that falls from your head returns to the earth, all of it whispering, "Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un." We belong to God, and to Him we return. Even the smallest act, when seen through this lens, becomes luminous. Cutting your nails becomes remembrance. Sweeping the floor becomes gratitude. Breathing becomes worship. But I know sometimes the world feels heavy. You wake up tired, distracted, pulled between screens, thoughts, noise, and remembrance feels far away. In those moments, friend, remember this. The path is not about perfection. It's about awareness. It's about remembering again and again and again. Because the lover never tires of returning, and the beloved never tires of receiving. Do you know what Ibn Arabi said about remembrance? He said, "Dhikr is not to remember him with your tongue, but to forget all else. That is the essence. To live in such awareness that even when you forget, your very being remembers." The saints call this the state of silent dhikr, when your heart beats Allah, Allah, even while you sleep.
Let's bring this into today, into modern life. You might be sitting under artificial light, scrolling through endless words and images, but somewhere in your body, the soul is still longing for silence, for a moment when every movement feels sacred again. So here's a practice for you. Tomorrow morning, when you wake up, don't rush to your phone. Go to the mirror instead. Look at your reflection and say softly, "Peace be upon you, vessel of the soul." Then wash your face slowly, like you are washing the dust of sleep from your spirit. Comb your hair as if every strand were saying Subhanallah. Trim your nails like you are letting go of yesterday. And while you do, breathe the name, Allah, Allah, Allah. See what happens to your heart. You may feel tears, or silence, or light. That is remembrance awakening within form. The path of Sufism has always been about transforming the ordinary. Rumi spun in circles to turn breath into remembrance. Yunus Emre chopped wood and said, "The path to God passes through the kitchen." Haji Bektash Veli said, "The one who serves is greater than the one who speaks." And Ibn Arabi, he looked at hair and saw the reflection of divine intelligence. They all taught the same truth. There is no place where God is not. Now, something begins to change inside. The seeker who once asked, "Why remember Allah in small things?" now whispers, "How could I not?" This is the transformation, the moment of turning, when knowledge becomes love, and love becomes seeing. You begin to feel that everything you touch vibrates with His presence. You realize you are not performing remembrance. You are remembrance. You are the breath through which the divine praises Himself. So the next time you feel detached or tired, remember this secret. Nothing is lost, not even what you cut away. The hair, the nail, the tears, the sighs. They all carry your story back to the One, and they will say, "He remembered, He loved, He sought." That is enough. Ibn Arabi once wrote, "Everything that is cut off from its root longs to return." So let your remembrance be the path of return for your body, for your thoughts, for your days. Let every act become a homecoming. Even silence can be a bridge if you cross it with awareness. Friend, close your eyes for a moment. Place your hand over your heart. Feel it beating. Each pulse is saying His name. You don't need to create remembrance. It's already happening within you. You just need to listen. So listen. Listen until your mind quiets. Listen until you can hear the whisper beneath your breath, "I am with you. That whisper is the truth of every part of you: the hair, the skin, the nail, the bone. All of them are echoes of that eternal voice. And when you finally understand this, the entire world becomes a mirror. Every reflection is his. Every loss is a reminder. Every separation is union in disguise. That is why the saints smile, even in sorrow. They see the unity behind the illusion of cutting and falling. They see the lover hidden in every form.
So tonight, when you finish this reflection, don't just move on to the next thing. Sit quietly for a moment. Whisper, Astaghfirullah. Not out of guilt, but out of love. Because asking forgiveness means turning your face back toward the beloved. And if you feel moved, write in the comments, the remembrance is in everything. Let that be your dhikr tonight. If this path touches you, if you feel the warmth of the heart awakening, then stay with us, friend. Subscribe, not just to a channel, but to the inner journey itself. Because this road of love, is one we walk together. And if these words touched something inside you, leave a heart below. Because these hearts recognize each other. So as Ibn Arabi taught, next time you trim your hair or wash your hands, do it with remembrance. Do it knowing that even what leaves you still prays for you. For nothing that remembers Allah is ever lost. And may you be among those who, even in silence, carry His name in every cell of your being. Peace to you, friend. The love continues. The journey never ends.